So, round 5 of the Missed Apex Formula Renault Challenge from the Nurburgring Grand Prix circuit. 41 cars lined up for the penultimate round of this championship. Lights are up, and it's the green flag, and immediately Henny moves over to that right-hand side to cover off Dobertsberger from the front row of the grid. But it doesn't look like he has the run he needs to challenge him on the way into turn 1. David Hatton goes out wide, trying to consolidate third place, but it looks like Ficacci has got up his inside, although Hatton will have the line on the way into turn 3. Ficacci trying to force his way around the outside, though, but it's still going to be Hatton with the line on the way into turn 3. So Alex, oh no, Hatton spun! Hatton has spun from a podium position. The championship leader is facing the wrong way at the start of the race, Chris.
Yeah, he got turned around, but he's just regained. Luckily, everybody managed to avoid him. He is just a couple of places behind Alex Van Gien. Also, another casualty of the first corner was Kyle Power. He got turned around and he was facing backwards, got clattered by a couple of cars, so expect him to be right at the back.
So once again, at the start of the race, the championship has been turned on its head as we've got Sam Harper making a move on Alex Rosales, although he's clicked up, and Harper's been spun round as well by James Wingfield. Drama down at the Dunlop hairpin because now Harper is facing the wrong way as well. Both of our championship contenders are having absolute nightmares of a start, Chris.
Yeah, and Harper's had a much worse time of it. He got rear-ended. He was trying to rejoin the circuit as well. And I saw that a lot of drivers had to take to the grass to try and avoid him. So it's been total carnage in this first lap.
Yeah, we've got several drivers off down at the Dunlop hairpin. So, my goodness me, you could not write it, could you? So we're going to have both of our championship challengers coming through the field. Just give you an update at the front of the field. Still Danny Henny, who leads quite sizably so over Alexander Dobertsberger. Steve Ficacci, the reigning MX5 champion, is in third place, just ahead of the rookie Alex Drillsma. And then Adam Rosales, John Lang, Andy Flagg, another rookie in this race. As we see Edward Shelley with big damage, no front wing or nose on the front of his car. He's coming into the pits for repairs. And actually, Hatton has flown up through the field. He's not that far down. He's probably still going to be ahead. He's come over the line in 10th place.
Yeah, he did a lovely little 360 and actually was facing the right way in the end and managed to get going pretty quickly. So he's been very lucky. Certainly, Harper was much worse off. He was facing backwards and had to wait for the whole field to go by before he could spin round. I
wouldn't be surprised if he has damage as well, because I don't think Hatton actually had contact with another car, did he? Whereas Harper did get a hit from James Wingfield on the way into the Dunlop hairpin. So he's probably nursing a damaged car once again. So if things keep going the way they are, then probably Hatton will once again extend his championship lead. So I see Harper has come over the line in 22nd place. And Spanner's ready. As mentioned, Ever the Cautious Cat up 5 places from his starting position. He's in 14th.
Looks like Harper is not carrying too much damage. I can't see any bent panels on his car, so I think he's got away with it. He's not crabbing down the straights either, so that's at least one blessing. He's just overtaken Eric Swain, I think. Oh no, it was John Cox, sorry, who seems to be missing most of his car.
Colin Ward and Alex Van Gien banging wheels between turns 10 and 11. All that is allowing David Hatton to get right on their gearbox. This is all going on over 8th place at the moment, and Colin Ward has pulled clear. And that's Rosales going slowly down the back straight. So he's had a drama somewhere. He was in 5th place. And it looks like it's going to be 3 wide and chicane. Here comes Hatton, looking to pounce on all 3 of them. And that is an extraordinary move from the championship leader.
That was clean and decisive. That was such a good move, taking a number of cars down that straight. That was very impressive.
That's fantastic. So he, in all of that, I think would have put himself up into 7th place. We'll get confirmation as they go over the timing line. 6th place he is in now, ahead of Colin Ward and Alex Van Gien. Adam Rosales down to 10th after what I can only assume was an error into turns 10 or 11. But he's coming back down the inside on Alex Van Gien into turn 1.
And Drillsma is actually up to P3 now, because Dobertsberger has dropped behind into P4. So there's something that's been going on there. We've got Ficacci up into 2nd place now.
Yeah, so Henny now has a 5-second lead over Steve Ficacci now, who is in 2nd place. Drillsma in third, and then Dobesberger fourth. So I wonder if Dobesberger made a mistake somewhere as well.
Yeah, it was in the first sector of the lap. He must have dropped it somewhere. Spanners is in P11, and he is right on the back of Jelle Ooms.
Yeah, there's a big train of cars now. So all that drama with Ward, Van Gien and co. has really bunched the pack up. Just keeping an eye on Dobesberger in fourth place. Looked like he might have challenged Drillsma into the chicane, but did not do so on this occasion. So Drillsma doing a sterling defensive job at the moment. Although I think Dobesberger is going to make his way quite quickly. He was half a second quicker on the previous lap. That's why we're seeing them so close together at the moment. Henny's lead up to 6.5 seconds now on that last lap. Danny's had quite a bit of bad luck on those opening laps. Oh, and Drillsma's gone wide into the Dunlop hairpin and has let Alexander Dobesberger through. That was easy as you like.
That's the pressure telling. These brakes are very, as I said, very easy to lock, particularly on that approach to the hairpin, which is downhill. There's a lot of pressure on those front brakes, and he just skidded slightly wide. There are a couple of lines through there, but it just allowed him to slip up the inside and ease past.
So that's third place secure for Alexander Dobesberger, and he will now set his sights on Steve Ficacci. He's got about 1 second to close up on the MX-5 champion, the number one car. And he's really come into form lately. You know, he was really struggling at the beginning of the season, but we saw him finally get his first win of the season at Silverstone. And Henny as well, most likely will be taking his first race one win, because he was saying race ones hate him because he's had a lot of bad luck and he's won 2 race twos. But looks like he'll take his first, what should we call it, feature race win.
Yeah, so Henny has pulled out another second on the field there, so he's now 7.3 seconds ahead. It's not a done deal, though, because this, as I said, these cars are very tricky. I think the guys were very much worried about the first lap with the cold new tyre model, and actually that did come to pass. They seem to be stringing out a little bit now. Got a little bit of action further back with Colin Ward fighting Rosales, and who's that behind him? Jelle Ooms as well.
Ooms. Yeah, all going off over 8th place in the moment. Ooms trying to get down the outside towards turn 5.
That was very impressive. There was very little gap there for him to squeeze through. He left him just a car's width and no more. That was very impressive there from Ooms.
Yeah. So,
and looking further back to them, sorry, we've got Van Gien, Spanners ready, and Harper all battling into the hairpin. They are so close to each other.
Dobesberger through into second place. Apologies if you can't see all the cars on your screen, but Alexander Dobesberger has just moved ahead of Steve Ficacci and into second place. But Chris, as you mentioned, Spanners ready coming back through the field, and Alex Van Gien looks like that toe injury he has really is hurting him, because he's fallen back down the order again. Oh, and so's his internet as well, apparently. I was just following him, and I've lost him because his car's blinking. So thanks for that, Alex. But he's currently battling with Colin Ward. Actually, no, sorry, that's John Langan.
Yep, John Langan tried to go up the inside of the chicane, but thought better of it and ducked out. And Van Gien just kept the place. But that's given Harper a bit of breathing space in front of him. And then you got Richard Spanners ready just in front as well.
I think I just wanted to mention Colin Ward because he's gone back to his Rocket Williams colours after running the Niki Lauda tribute at Silverstone, but instead of Rocket, it just says for sale. Did I say Colin Ward? I meant Gary Thomas, excuse me. Colin Ward's running the Rothmans Williams colours, and I knew at some point I was going to get those two mixed up this season, and I managed to go 5 races without actually doing it.
It's not bad. Not bad at all. Gary Thomas did just slide at the inside of Richard Moulden as we were speaking about him. Richard Moulden in that very, very luminous yellow colours. We've got a lot to thank him for doing a lot of organisation of these events.
Him and Sam Watley as well. They both do an incredible job putting on this event and doing a lot of the admin as well. So I don't think this battle for third place is quite done yet. Alex Drilsma closing in on Steve Ficacci. He was almost a second slower than Drilsma last time around. It was quite a slow lap. It also was a 59.1 last time round, and Drilsma did a 58.3. But just coming back onto the start-finish straight. We'll see what it is this time around. So Ficacci with a 58.7, Drilsma with a 58.6. So definitely seems like there was a mistake from Ficacci at some point, but he's right with him now. He's only 0.6 of a second and closing in as they head into turn one for the penultimate time. Henny, meanwhile, nearly 8 seconds clear of Doversberger. Has been quite the dominant display from the BRKC racer. And I'm surprised it's taken until race 3 for him to get a race 1 win. But like I say, he has been quite unlucky. John Lang, by the way, in 5th place. This is a good showing for him. I think he's been mired in a little bit of traffic because that gap to David Hatton is coming around. So there might be an extra point on offer for the championship leader, although he is still going to be extending his advantage. We've got Sam Harper came over the line in 11th place, so we'll be taking another 5 points out, and that lead will go up to 11 points overall.
Just behind them, Chris, Adam Rosales was closing in on David Hatton, but he just got taken out by a back marker and has lost a couple of places to Ismail Basso and Yeli Ooms. Is now a very close gaggle of cars there, because that's also allowed Spanners and Sam Harper to join that fray. So there's going to be a tense lap there between particularly Ooms and Basso.
It could be a monumental final lap for those guys. So Henny is about to start his final lap, actually. He's just coming out of the chicane around the final corner. So it'll be one more lap for Henny. I just wonder if Drilsma looks a little bit too far back from Ficacci to challenge him for the podium on this final lap. It will take a mistake from Ficacci. So looks like all eyes are going to be on this battle between Yella Ooms and Basso over 8th place. Richard Spanner's ready, getting in 10th place, up from 19th. It's another strong showing from him. Wonder if Sam Harper can maybe try and do a little bit more damage limitation and get past, gain an extra point, or he doesn't look close enough. And one more lap for these guys. And I've got to say, I think Ooms has got this one covered. Unless he makes a mistake. Oh, and a dive there from Colin Ward on Adam Rosales into turn 1. So he's picked him up and picked up 11th place.
There are definitely a couple of places on this circuit that you can do a pretty epic lunge, and you have to have a lot of faith in the other driver to be able to give you the space. You've got to see him coming, I think. So just a few corners to go, and as we said, he's been pretty unlucky in these feature races so far, in the few races that he's done with us. You know, a late joiner to the championship, but he did certainly arrive in style, and is a few corners away from taking his first race 1 victory of the season, and it will be his 3rd overall. Actually will be taking the honours for most wins so far this season, because we only have 3 repeat winners actually, with Philpott, Hatton and Henny, but he'll be the first to take 3 as he comes around the final corner now and across the line, and Danny Henny takes the race 1 win at the Nurburgring Grand Prix circuit. And after a mistake earlier on, Alexander Doversberger comes over the line in 2nd place. And it's a slipstreaming festival between Alex Drilsma and Steve Ficacci for 3rd place, but it's the MX5 champion who just gets over the line in front ahead of Alex Drilsma. What a debut performance by him. John Lang secures 5th place, just ahead of championship leader David Hatton. So absolute damage limitation there for him. And he, instead of losing points after facing the wrong way at turn 3 on the opening lap, extends his championship lead over Sam Harper, who's come over the line in 10th place. Yella Ooms in 7th, Ismail Basso 8th, and Spanish Ready in 9th
place. So that is your top 10. Chris, we've had quite a good opening race there.
Yeah, there was a lot of action. A lot of it came in the first couple of laps on the cold tyres, so expect some fireworks in the reverse grid races in the first couple of laps, I think, because the fast guys try and get through. They've just got to keep their noses clean, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, we've seen some of these guys struggle to do it at the front of the field, so what's going to happen when we stick them down in 20th place? And I think for the third race in a row, it is going to be Barry Kemp on reverse grid pole position ahead of Shane Jordan. And then Alex Van Gien will be in third place on the grid with Gregory Leader. And, we talked about some of these guys who weren't getting up the field so quick. So Tim Ellis, from last on the grid, he got over the line in 15th. That means he's going to have a pretty good starting position, actually.
That's it. And Spanners had a pretty interesting race as well. Spanners, how did that go for you?
Oh, how's it going? I mean, this track is amazing. The racing is much better once the tyres warm up. And yeah, there was a few upset people on lap 1. I tried my best to dance through that traffic and really disappointed. Van Gien, I don't know if you caught me overtaking him, he just had a little bit of front wing damage hitting Kyle Power. So 2 of our panellists hitting each other, unfortunately, on lap 1. But wow, yeah, some real good racing. And I tell you what, the adrenaline is just pumping on a track like this because you know that any minute you could lose it.
Yeah, we're going from classic track to classic track. I think this is a brilliant choice. I love the Nurburgring.
Yeah, and it's Suzuka next, you can announce.
Excellent.
Or I announced.
Thank you very much, Spanners.
So my timing has just updated, and it will actually be Matt Trumpet on reverse grid pole position because he got over the line in 20th. Still with Shane Jordan second, Alex Van Gien third, Gregory Leader fourth, and Edward Shelley fifth. So that lap 1 damage may have actually put him in a pretty good position for this race 2 with Tim Ellis just behind. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back with the first of the 2 reverse grid races.